What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Wardlow here.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks. Episode 1. I forgot the rest of the thing. It's been a while. It was the part. I didn't bring up the script. I used to have a script.
How unprofessional are you, man? But let me tell you, I missed Marv. Don't know
Marv's
about
good, dude. It's his birthday. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't notice that. I saw something that said happy. I thought it was like, you know, something from like Effie's Big Gay Brunch or something like that. I don't know. But I don't know. I mean, hey, you know, you never know. Now, do I miss the fart gun? No.
Digi doesn't have a fart gun?
No.
Oh. God, what is he doing?
I couldn't tell you. I honestly I couldn't tell you, man. Could not tell you. So
Like, what's production quality without a fart gun? You know what I mean?
I you know what? That's not my part. That I just show up, you know, and host the goddamn thing. But yeah, no. So yeah, welcome to another episode 1, Wrestling on the Rocks. You're the host today, Ref Marsh.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm his crazy sidekick.
Yeah, you were out there for WrestleMania weekend, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened, and
oh yeah,
you know, I mean, we're still only a day out of even the Raw
Everything.
after Mania and all that, and
And
so
the
fuck, I was
NXT.
like, let's bring you in and just talk about how the whole thing went, because it's a lot. There was a whole lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of things in comparison to other things that we saw maybe 2 years ago in LA. Lots of fun times. But before we get into that, you know our favorite game. What's in your glass?
Yep. I'm gonna probably need a refill already because I was waiting for you for a bit and I had filled up my drink, but I've been chugging it. But I've got a Canadian whiskey and a little bit of soda. I've been
Hey.
drinking a lot of Canadian whiskey lately.
Oh, that's good, eh?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well,
the Canadians know whiskey.
yeah, Canadians also know hockey and
Yep.
apparently wrestling too, but I don't know. And mooses or meese, whatever the plural is of moose. Don't know. But yes. Me, you know me. Okay. I did not have soju. I thought about it. Thought about it for this special occasion. I did do it recently, and that was off the rails kind of. But no, guys, my favorite Coke in the can. Because remember, it's not what you drink, it's about who you're drinking with.
That's right. You can drink whatever the hell you want. I don't care what you're drinking, as long as you're
It's
drinking
not,
with me.
mm-hmm.
But yeah,
And
a lot's been going on. And so, look, we're not going to break down all of WrestleMania. We'll
no,
talk about
no.
stuff from it,
Yeah.
but we're going to talk about more or less the weekend and stuff, and just kind of how we feel about coming out of it and stuff.
Yeah.
I do think Kevlar and Bishop both have been talking to me about how they want to say some stuff. But
Yeah.
if you do keep track of Terrible Wrestling Takes, I know Bishop's already dropped a couple things about Cena. I was so right about all of the Cena stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Not only was I right about it, but if you listen to the last episode that me and Bishop did together, I told him, I was like, if they're smart, they're going to turn Cena heel. They're going to have Randy Orton be the one to take it off of him. And then you get Cody versus Randy down the line, right?
Nice
and
one.
it looks like that's exactly where we're going. The only problem is I guess without getting too far into it, I think they did a really piss poor job of his heel turn. He's like one of the worst heels. He's a babyface heel that's never been more babyface. Like,
no.
I can't get over the fact, and everyone's trying to come up with excuses. That's the thing that bothers me, is the excuses of the IWC, right? Is the fans aren't cheering him because they don't like Cody, right? The fans are cheering him because he's doing babyface shit. He's been a babyface for so long that the quote heel turn has been what we've all wanted for so long that when he does it, we're happy. He's giving us what we want, as any good babyface would. Not only is he giving what we want, but he's also not lying to us. He's never told us something that's just generally not true. He said he was going to go win for the 17th time, and he did.
Yes.
He said he's going to ruin wrestling. I guess time will tell. There's a lot of fucking horrible speculation and excuses by people trying to say that the terrible finish was just part of Cena ruining wrestling. And no, that's not the case at all. Because the finish would have been 100% different with anyone else but Travis Scott. Travis Scott ruined the finish. And it's not even Travis Scott's fault. You just can't send out Steve Urkel to take out Captain America after Captain America took out the fucking bloodline. You know what I mean? Like the idea that Cody couldn't overcome Travis Scott's music, but he could overcome the entire fucking bloodline is just dumb. It's just dumb. It's just not good. It's bad. So the whole people were trying to give the excuse saying, oh, Cena said he was going to ruin wrestling. He did that by ruining the main event. And it's like, no, they had a really shitty finish. And now you're trying to make it work because you're trying to come up with anything you can to not just say this finish was fucking terrible. And it was. Here's the deal too. You and I both love that Cena got his 17.
Yeah.
Kevlar loves that he got the 17. Bishop loves that he got the 17. I don't think any single one of us said it was really fun to watch. You know what I mean?
No. You know what was more fun for me is the media scrum at the after the show.
Oh yeah, where he just
Cena.
wasn't talking.
Yeah, he says that sounds like a clickbait question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I just loved it. But I do have a comment about that. Okay. Well, one of my commentary was, so as y'all know, we've been blackballed from like AEW. So we're, not allowed to go to those things.
Yeah.
But how come this guy to ask everybody what their Waffle House order is? How can he get on there? Because we've been wanting to do pretty much the same shtick, is ask them.
Same shtick.
Same shtick, except it's about drinking.
Yeah.
What the fuck, WWE?
Yeah.
What's
your go-to drink when you celebrate? What's your go-to after match drink? right?
Yeah,
Those are
now
the
you have
questions we've been wanting to ask. And we also
to
wanted
send.
to ask Tony Khan about his hair care because he's got those glorious curls.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
they let in this dude who's just going to ask about your Waffle House order and fucking.
Yeah. And then let him fucking be a. Yeah, no. Yeah. Come on now. Come on.
Oh, yeah. I stopped watching those altogether. The last several I saw were just so pointless and so
Mhm.
awful that I've just stopped watching them. As soon as the show's over, I turn it off now. Like I don't even leave it on while I do other things anymore. It's become so bad. But
Really.
in fairness, big shout out to Stephanie Hypes. She was
Mhm.
the first one who got to ask a question to Becky on Becky's return. And it was a really cool moment. And Stephanie Hypes really is only into wrestling to begin with because of Becky. When you really break it down and get to the nitty gritty, that's the reason she got back into it. That's her main focus. And she's also just a good person. She's always been good to us. She's been very, very good to us. Matter of fact, she picked up for me. If you want, I'll show you. Let's see. Actually, I think I can just bring it right up. Here, let me do this. Watch. Check out what she grabbed for me. Let me do it. Look at StreamYard does new shit now.
Oh, okay. Well,
So watch this.
Okay.
Boom.
Oh shit!
She picked me up a Bailey signed bottle of Wheatley vodka. How fucking perfect.
That is amazing.
So nothing but nice things to say about Stephanie Hypes and her utilizing of the scrums. But yeah, the Waffle House guy is not impressive. Yeah, I mean, at the same time, like, look, let's not mince words about it. If we were in there asking everyone about their drink every fucking week, people would not like us either. And people would say that we're pointless and stupid. And I would agree with them. But that's our shtick.
Yeah.
Pointless
And
aggression.
But I think that there is a need because some of these are just, people take them way too seriously. So, I know I don't watch the AEW ones anymore. If Tony Storm is on it, I'll watch because she always has some ridiculous like letter or something she reads. But yeah. But I just thought that the Waffle House guy, that really freaking put a bee in my bonnet. I was like,
you know why? Because here's the difference. If we ask what's your favorite drink, there's a really good chance, if not 100% chance, that not only are we going to have that drink on a future show, but it'll be in other people's mind and they may have that drink to celebrate that person. And from then on out, they might even be all like, oh, I know fucking Bailey's drink is fucking whatever. So when she wins a match, I'm going to have that drink, right? There's a thing that happens there. Your Waffle House order is trying to look smart. It's trying to say you're so smart to the business that they go to Waffle House. And you're like, no, that's just a fucking thing. It doesn't make you smart. It doesn't make you a fucking insider. Like, it's trying to be kitschy, but an insidery, but not. It's just kind of like your super base level that, like, it's uninteresting.
Yeah.
But
I don't
that
know.
guy's probably really nice. If I'm honest, I bet you that guy's super nice and is probably really funny to hang out with.
Yeah.
But I don't know who he is.
I don't either. I've only seen him do that with people, and actually not just wrestlers, but other people. So I think that's his thing. So I don't know, but dude, you kind of took one of our dreams away. That's sad.
Yeah.
I mean,
no.
What can you do? What can you do, right? Because they're just gonna be, they're copying that guy, the Waffle House. No, we've been wanting to do this forever.
Oh yeah, we've been doing it.
Yeah, we've been doing it. Yeah, been wanting to do it. Yeah. But hey, is what it is, right? Is what it is. But that's a cool thing of vodka. When did she do that? I didn't even know she was doing that.
On Thursday, she was doing a signing with Wheatley Vodka. And it all kind of came together really cool, right? Because I was supposed to go out there and I wasn't able to make it, and it was devastating. And then Bailey posted a video on her Instagram of her having shots with some women who were a part of the distribution company or whatever.
Mhm.
And well, it turns out my friend used to work for that distribution company and is friends with those women. And
Mm.
he reached out to me like, yo, she doesn't care about that bottle. And I'm all
Mhm.
like, how much? And so
Mhm.
we made it work. And so, yeah. And then Stephanie's the one who picked it up from them and I wired the money or whatever and all that stitch. So it worked out
Nice.
really good. It was really cool. It was friends being friends and helping me get my hands on a little something, even though I couldn't come out there. Right.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, Thursday was a bunch of good stuff. Well, you got out there
Oh,
Wednesday, did you not?
I did. I got out there Wednesday. Thursday was my busiest day because I had so much. Like that was the day that I saw probably the most shows and other things outside of just like wrestling. So yeah, but I don't know whether or not I can. Well, I'm only going to say this. I had lunch with a certain person. I'll let you guys figure it out. That's all I'll say.
No.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
if you know or you think you know, you're probably wrong. So I'm just throwing that out into the universe, into the ether. But yeah, no, got there Wednesday. There was Dragon Gate and
Mhm.
WWE ID at the Palms, but I don't know why did I not go? Let me think. For some reason, I ended up not going, and it was fine. Uh, everyone says it was pretty good, but I was like, I'm gearing up for a whole 4 days of wrestling. Sometimes it's like you got to pick and choose, but
Yeah.
that was kind of cool to know that that was there. So Wednesday, it was like, I don't want to have anything really to do with wrestling. I'm good, totally good. So yes. So if y'all didn't know, and if this is your first episode one, I actually did most of the collective, and I was staying at the
Yeah.
Palms. Which, by the way, if you're ever in Vegas and you stay, you're looking for something reasonable, and it's actually pretty huge, I recommend the Palms place. I'll tell you
I've stayed
why.
at the Palms once. It was really nice.
No, but did you stay at the studio one, the one that has studios and real one bedrooms? Because there's like
Oh, no.
a full-on refrigerator, and there's like a stove top with two burners. There's like this incredible like shower, and yeah, all sorts of
That's
goodies and
sick.
stuff. Microwave. Yeah, it was great. So that was kind of handy to have. But and the room was huge. There was a huge like L-shaped couch with a chase lounge, and that turned into a bed, and we had a balcony, but there was no chairs on the balcony, so that was kind of weird. But
Hmm.
it was really cool. It was pretty cool. I recommend that highly. Um, I
I bet
don't
you there's a
think,
problem with chairs on the balcony. They've had some fucking idiots fall off those balconies, and I bet you the
yeah,
chairs only make that easier.
yeah, probably.
Uh,
But people are stupid anyway, come on now.
mm,
I did want to start this out with, um, I know that Drew McIntyre made some great videos
mm,
telling people to bathe, use deodorant and
yeah.
whatnot. I love Drew, love him. Y'all didn't listen to him. Y'all didn't. There were other wrestlers too that were kind of, bathe. No,
It was a
no.
smelly group.
Yes. It was smelly at WWE World. It was smelly at Stand and Deliver, and only one of the collective shows. I want to say it was no, it wasn't Bloodsport. I want to say it was
I mean, you went to
uh
Bloodsport.
yeah, I did. Oh, it was the WrestleCon show, the Memorial whatever, that show. Yeah, there was a smelly
Oh.
one by me. Yeah. Ugh.
Mm.
Yeah. And he was actually probably like basically a bigger guy, almost sitting on me. So that just, but whatever, So, but yeah, no. So that's how, lots of wrestling. So the Thursday was the Defy show, which I had to leave before, actually, when I left, Gabe Kidd was wrestling, and I love Gabe Kidd, but I'm like, I gotta go, gotta go. I'm all throwing the the little war dogs, too sweet out there.
No.
Yeah. So because I had a lunch appointment, so did that. Then came back to the Palms and did the Hitchcock Memorial Show. And I will say this, it was, it is what it is. But what was great, and I didn't realize this, is I didn't know Flip Gordon was on the card. He only did one show and he did that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's great to see Flip. And he freaked out when he saw me. He's like, oh, man. I'm like, yeah, so it was actually really, really cool. Like Flip is, I was just watching him. He's developed so much. I mean, he already was talented, but I mean, now it's like Jesus Christ. Him in Mexico, it's been really good with CMLL. And of course, he was wrestling Zack Sabre Jr. And I'm like, why do my favorites have to wrestle each other? So, but is what it is when it comes to that stuff. So,
I mean, yeah, it's always a frustration when it's all like, I don't know who to cheer for, but sometimes both these guys is okay to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And for me, then after that, I got something to eat. Then it was Bloodsport. It's my first one. I was bummed they didn't sell his alcohol because I was going to finally get one and film it. Which, by the way, people, I filmed a lot of things, but it was very emotional, and I don't want you guys to have to go on that journey with me. So,
I mean, it's up to you. If you want, I'll play the videos that you sent me. I have them right here.
You could, yeah, we could do that. We could totally do that.
Were you talking about the Barnett one?
No, I was talking.
Who was the boozes that you were talking about?
Oh, the booze, yeah, the Barnett one, yeah. I thought
No.
that they'd have it and I could have it, but no. One of the things I didn't like about with the Palms is they didn't have an area where wrestlers could take photos with people, have a chat, because they put their merch in a separate area, which is kind of bougie. But they did sell out of a lot of things on the Thursday night. So if you wanted a GCW hoodie, if you wanted the Joey Janela Spring Break t-shirt with the whole card on the back, gone, unless you're small. I am not. So yeah, but Bloodsport, that card was stacked top to bottom.
This was what he had the last year. It was this barley wine stuff that he had made. Which
wait, that one was last year?
Black Blood of Earth, of the Earth.
So that was last year, and then was there a different one that you got?
Was it not last year? Was this 2 years ago?
2 years ago, because last year was Philly.
I think this was. Yeah, I think you're right. I think this was 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, you haven't drinking it yet, but according to Mars, it's still good.
It may still be good. It's really tough to say, and it's real fucking iffy.
Yeah, well, you never know. If we want to live on the edge, we can probably do that one. Yeah. But I will say this: the standouts for me during that one, Carmen Petrovic, who's on NXT. She is an incredible jiu-jitsu / almost little warrior samurai, whatever. She's really good. They need to use those skills with her more than what she's doing. I was so impressed. I was blown away. She didn't win, but you know what? It's okay. But it was amazing to see that. Who else was there? I'm sorry, but Karrion Kross. Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will tell you, I know that he's been doing because obviously now he's been living in Orlando and whatnot, and I know he's been doing, he's been doing jiu-jitsu and with a lot of other people. It was amazing. It was really amazing. And it's kind of like, I sat there and I said, it's a shame that they just aren't using him for whatever reason. And yeah, it just bothers me because he's so good. And he's such a great person too. And, things like that. That's also how I feel about Hammerstone. Why isn't anyone doing anything with Hammerstone? But, is what it is. But that was a really, I thought was a fantastic match. The 3/4 catch crew, they were okay. You know, I'm like, it's
I'm
okay.
having a
Charlie
hard time
Dempsey,
with.
yeah,
I
Charlie
was going to show
Dempsey's
some of
better
these
than.
photos. Keep talking. I'm going to
Okay.
figure this out.
Okay. So, one of the things that for me that was a standout. Let's talk about Natty Neidhart. Oh my gosh. I actually, to be honest with you, I went into it with expectations of, you know, I, I don't think it might be very good. But boy, I was wrong. She fucking brought it. And it was just, it was, it was breathtaking. I wish that she has more opportunities to do matches like that. It was great. She had a whole like team behind her that came out, and I mean, it was really good. And I think that with Natty, you could definitely tell that she was like training for it, like very seriously, and not taking it lightly. Because there are some people I think that do like blood sport and they kind of take it lightly.
That's true.
So yeah, which I was like, I was so impressed. Yeah, she made her opponent submit with a sharpshooter. Yeah.
That
But
was kind of funny. When I heard that she won by sharpshooter, I was all like, okay.
that's a little winky nod to WWE, because we were sitting there talking about it and we're like, is it me or did every WWE person win? I said, no, Carmen Petrovic did not win. So yeah, so that was kind of your,
Who did
your
Carmen lose
stand.
to?
Japanese lady. A Japanese lady. Yeah. Let me see. I'm not prepared for that, but let's see here. I will say that Bloodsport is going to be in the UK toward the end of the year. I think I want to say it's like September. So I think that that's kind of a good. Let's see. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. I think that that's the. I really do think that the Bloodsport. I really do think that was just a great. It was just a great card. I mean, it's every year everyone tells me this was my first one, so I was just in awe, right? I just was like, oh my god. Now, Cross did wrestle JR Kratos. Shout out to him because I seen him wrestle for years and years and years out of APW. So it was kind of cool to see, people that you've seen for such a long time. So it's always really good to see that. Was this Bloodsport 10 or no? No Bloodsport. Hold on. How come I can't find this shit? Hold on. All right. Wikipedia, you're not like, what the fuck? You people are behind. What are you doing? Okay. Let's see here. So we got here. There's a controversy saying that Uncle Dave is starting this, that Josh Barnett pulled book people to accommodate WWE. There's Natty.
Oh, really?
Yes. That's the story going around. Uncle Dave, shut up. And then it's kind of cool because she's now a Suplex sponsored athlete. So I'm assuming
Yes.
on their website, because they've got great shirts and things like that we're going to see some Natty stuff. So keep your eyes peeled on that.
Yeah, because they've had a lot of really good Tony Storm shit.
Oh shit! The one I want, and I'm mad I didn't buy it, was the one that looked like the Motley Crue album cover.
Yeah, that one was cool.
That one was cool. But yeah, no, they have tons of great Tony Storm stuff. Jeff Cobb had some great stuff. Obviously, Zack Sabre Jr. had some great stuff. Gabe Kidd now is one too. So definitely something cool to kind of open your eyes and basically kind of just keep in your back pocket of things that are cool. Let me see here. I'm so sorry that my freaking stupid thing. Okay, here we go. So the card, this was Bloodsport 8. The card that we had was Pete Dunne versus Thatcher. Holy fuck. That's all I'm going to say. We love
yeah,
Toothless
Pete
Timmy.
Dunne and Thatcher.
We love Toothless Timmy, but I'll tell you, that match was, so it
Did
was
Pete
just
Dunne
like
win that?
perfect. Yeah, he did.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. I know,
So
but
was
it could have
Carmen the
gone.
only WWE who didn't win?
I'm looking at the poster. Hold on a second here. Hold on. Hold on here. Yeah, she's the only one who did not win. Yes. Again, like some of the other standouts, Layla Hirsch. Oh boy, that little tiny gal. I always liked her in AEW, and she's just amazing. She's a little pocket like little.
Did you see that
little
shit? She did an interview talking about how they fucking basically wasted her.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, she had a whole like angle built with somebody, and they were gonna do a whole
Yeah.
thing, and then they just trashed it all. And she was like, "All right, well, I guess I'm done."
Exactly. Yeah, it's so stupid. It's like, all right, what the hell? Carmen Petrovic was wrestling someone named Mayika, Japanese lady. Don't know who that is. And then Natty was wrestling Miyu Yamashita, and the other one was Shayna Baszler versus Konami. You can't fuck with Shayna Baszler in that kind of element. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You just can't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people like, even try, because you can't. That's the thing. Then the match that I personally was like, oh man, I knew in my gut they were going to do this match, and I thought, man, this is a waste. This is a fucking waste. It was Jonathan Gresham versus Zack Sabre Jr. Now,
yeah.
I know you guys, you've heard me say it. I don't like him. It's not believable. I mean, T-Rex arms high. He tried to put an octopus on Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, shit, he's like twice Gresham's height. And Gresham could barely put his arms around him because, T-Rex arms. And I think I said in the crowd, I'm like, this looks so fake. You can't do that when you have T-Rex limbs. People laughed. I was saying, it's true. It's true.
I mean,
and I did.
In fairness to Gresham, he does look like someone you wouldn't want to fuck with, but he does not look like a believable wrestler amongst a lot of these people.
No.
I mean, and then also in fairness, I buy him way quicker than I buy Gargano. So it's not like there's no place.
Well.
But Gargano versus Corbin was awful because Corbin didn't know how to move his arms in small enough to hold up a Gargano.
Well, Gargano
You know what I mean?
just is awful anyways. But if you were to say like what's in my top 5 of who Gargano, obviously, Jonathan Gresham, because he's like going around, I'm the best technical wrestler in the world. I go, no. I wore the shirt. I trolled him. I bought the New Japan Zack Sabre Jr. shirt that says Zack Sabre Jr. and it's got the silhouette of him, and it says on the bottom, best technical wrestler in the world. So when he came out, I was like, see, that's the best technical wrestler in the world. Yeah, because it's true. It is so true. And then our final match was Gabe Kidd and Barnett, which again I did not see because they stacked things too close to each other. So I mean, it was great, but it's like shit. Like I want to see this shit. So yeah, because obviously I had to go see Marty wrestle. It's been a while, and it's Marty. I mean, you guys I can't help that. Okay, it was the weirdest show ever. I've never seen like fucking like topless waitresses handing out like shots to the front row. Yeah, I only watched Marty and Kenny King, but Marty had asked, "Hey, can I wrestle earlier and not main event?" because he was exhausted. And I mean, poor guy. And then he had to fly out early. So there he is. Ah! Yes, I love this new coat because on his shoulders, you can't really see it. Each shoulder is a Plague Doctor mask. Really cool. This is one of his new ones. So to me, it's like great to see that he's actually investing back in the coats and things like that. New gear, loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. So it was great. So does he still got it? Absolutely. He looks like $1,000,000 because he's working out a lot, and the tan is like it's a tan and not the orange bullshit, you know.
Because he's in
And
Mexico all the time now.
well, not all the time. I mean, he's around the world. I mean, he's been in
Yeah.
Dubai. He's been in like all over Europe and things like that. So, you know, and Mexico, obviously, the Caribbean. If you want to see Marty Skrull versus Kenny King, the final, that rubber match, it's going down in the Bahamas. I will not be going. That's a little. That's a little. I only go to the Bahamas because they stop on a cruise. So, you know, yeah. So that, and it just made me wonder, like, are there going to be fully naked women handing out, I don't know, coconuts and whatever? So I don't know. I don't know what to expect. So I'll I'll be fine with that. But that was a very long day. That day, lot of great wrestling. Shout out to Defy. I think that right now they have some of the best product out there in an indie. Not gonna lie, because they really mix actual their guys that have trained up there with like Buddy Wayne and things like that when Buddy Wayne was alive. Um, they're just awesome. So we got to see my buddy. Shout out to C4. Love you guys. They look great. Cody Chun and Guillermo Rosas looked great. There was a lot of really good things. Of course, I did miss Gabe, as I said, and I also missed my new best friend Kenta. Kenta doesn't want this heat. Why is he my best friend? Did you not see? Did you not see the Ricky Starks Kenta match at Defy? Kenta got in my face. You know,
Fuck was he in your face for? Because he was fucking up?
Well, because I was like fucking heckling him. And so he thought I was an easy target. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't know me, buddy. You don't know me. And like I've stared down Will Ospreay and won, except for he shoved me. So you can take that at whatever. But I do owe him something to knock out. So, but yeah, no. So it was hilarious. So it was funny. He told me that I cussed too much. And I'm like, so fucking what's America? America.
Cuss too much? That's funny.
Yes. Yeah. And he was like, shush. I go, don't shush me. I said, I can boo whoever I want to boo. And unfortunately, it is you.
Today, it is you.
Today, it is you. Tomorrow, it might be someone else. I don't know. But every day, it's Will Ospreay. But, you know, whatever. I didn't say that. But yeah, no. That, I was like, oh, man, Kenta's wrestling. And I was in the front row. And I'm thinking, fuck. Do I have to fucking go at it with him? No, I didn't. So that was kind of nice. He didn't have to see his new best friend over here. So that was kind of nice.
Well, were you heckling him this time?
Yeah. Well, that's
Okay.
no, I didn't get to see it. But with Ricky, yeah, that was for the title. I was like, because I was like, oh, that was weak. With the chop and whatever. And then Ricky did something. So he obviously was like, okay, this bitch right here is here for Ricky Starks. Okay, let's fuck with her. I'm like, dude, not the one. Not the one. Even there was a fan up top who was like, fuck you, Ricky. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Yeah, I was even getting into it with fans. I mean, jeez. Yeah, I'm just saying. Speaking of which, Marsh, I need to send you some. This is actually the last merchandise of Ricky Starks that was made.
Oh yeah, the free Ricky Starks.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he was stoked that he's like, oh, you numbered them. I said, yeah, because so you have number 3 and 4. Yeah.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I still have some extra. If anyone wants one, just gotta give me some like $1 or $2 for postage. because I tried to send one in a
Yeah.
regular
Yeah.
envelope.
We gotta,
Little too heavy. So just saying. But yeah, I almost wanted to wear it, but
no.
I
Yeah,
did
we
not.
won't let it go. It's more than an ounce.
Yeah, it's more. They used to let you have up to 3.
Well, I mean, he doesn't need to be freed anymore. He made it. Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
fucking champ now.
He is. I
And
cried.
we watched the match with him and Ethan Page. It was funny. I forgot Ethan Page was even in the company still.
Well, you want to know what's a funny?
I mean,
Is
I
he's
assume
going-
he'll be good down the line, but he's
Okay.
such a non-entity to me.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is he's going through the AEW roster. First, he had your favorite fucking wrestler, Sean Spears,
Yeah.
won the belt off of him. Okay, then he's got fucking
Yeah.
Ethan Page. Next week he's fucking wrestling goddamn Brian Pillman Jr. And I'm sitting there, who else is freaking from
That's
AEW
funny.
over there? So it's like, okay, you're running through those guys. That's hilarious to me. So Friday was my
I
lightest
wonder
day.
because he never really got to wrestle many of them. I wonder if part of it is just strictly like we wanted to work together for fucking 3 years and we couldn't. Can we just fucking knock these out? And HBK's like, yeah, fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, but I think Ricky's
'Cause-
wrestled Ethan Page before. And I swear I thought he did it on AEW. But it doesn't matter because I think they're going to build a program between those two because you could see like just the
Yeah,
hate.
they
in
could work
their-
well together as far as their
Yeah.
promos go. Their promos could work.
Yeah, their promos.
I saw someone
do-
posted a screenshot of the poster that said Ricky Starks versus Ethan Page, the Ricky Saints, and they retweeted it and it said, "I miss AEW Dark." Gave me a chuckle.
I'll show you the poster. It's
like-
hilarious. Okay, so this is one thing which I'll get into when we talk about more like Stand and Deliver. Okay, so Friday was my light day. So Friday, I went to WWE World, and also because Ricky was doing photos and whatnot. So, I'm a sucker. Got to go do it. And also the Superstore was there. But I will say, did they have a program when we went to LA at the Superstore? I don't think they did.
I think they did,
Okay.
but I don't
'Cause-
remember it being a Hall of Fame one because I might have got it because that was when Kaufman went in.
Yeah, this is,
I think it was generic.
maybe, but this one in the back has, it's actually double-sided. So, you've got the full page on every one of them. And what was nice is they actually had little pictures of each of the Hall of Famers, which was
Nice.
great. Yes, which I liked. And then of course, the main front was,
Oh yeah,
this
the
stuff.
card, nice.
the card.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of it, I was going to give this to my nephew, but then I saw this and I said, "Oh hell no, you're not getting this," because I thought maybe they'd sell it as a poster. And hold on. Yep, the AEW Dark Match right there.
Oh, there it goes.
Yep, there's the AEW Dark Match. Yes, and so
Now, when you
Yeah.
saw him at the thing, that was strictly the photos, right?
he didn't do an
They-
autograph signing. He just did the photos. So actually,
He didn't do autograph because some of them were doing like both but separate. Because I saw somebody, they posted a picture. I cannot remember who it was with, but they posted a little video of being like, "Oh my god, thank you for signing this. I tried to get in with the photo op, but you were all sold out." And whoever was
take
with
it.
them said, "If you hurry, you can grab a selfie." And then they just went, "Huh," and they took a selfie. And it was a little kind of blurry, but you could tell,
No, they let people do that for certain people. Some they were not playing at all. It was like, okay, and but
I think
have
some of them are
something-
protected in a different way, and some of them are like, it's fine. You know
Yeah,
what I
and-
mean? Because at the end of the day, the talent runs the show. As
Yeah.
much as everyone wants to be all like, hey, we are making the rules as security, at the end of the day, if the talent says it's fine, guess what? It's
Yeah.
fine. You know what I
Well, in the case of Ricky, it was not fine because he's like, it's okay, right? And they're just like, oh no, you got to go. I'm like, he said it, but I digress. But
Wait, you tried to get him to
so
sign something?
no. We were talking.
Oh,
And
and they told you to move it along?
yeah. But I was also the last person because I did that strategically. Yeah.
No,
hmm
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. So, because I mean, shit. Yeah. What, why not? Right. So, anyways,
Well,
but
that one time I met Becky, she came over and gave me a hug and we're talking and they snapped a picture. And then she
Mhm.
just went, "Oh no, I'm not. I wasn't ready. You're redoing that. You're taking another picture." So I ended up with 2 of those printed out photos,
Nice.
and one of them she's
Nice.
kind of like mid face, and one of them like we're posed. But
Nice. Nice. Yeah. I think with this day, there's my 2 comments about WWE World. And actually, they sent me a survey, and boy, they're going to get some shit from me because LA, I thought, was very well organized. You came in to, the convention center, right? And the shop was like right to your, what was it, like the right or the left of us? Or was it
in
all? I
what?
can't remember if it was all over
When we went and
the
saw,
shop. Yeah, the
well,
superstore.
when you walked in, the first one, you'd walk like basically the shop was kind of like, oh wait, there was those fucking posters that kind of went down the
Posters.
hall, and
Yep.
then there was a
The
little
movie.
walkway, and then the shop was kind of like to the left, and then all the
Yeah.
weird shit was on the right,
Right. Yeah. So
which was the
what was
toys, the displays, the big WCW sign, that shit. Yeah.
yeah, the costumes, because you saw the Andy Kaufman one and all of
Yeah.
that. This year they didn't have anything like that, right? When you came in, they had all the big WrestleMania signs from a lot of the shows. I'm like, whoop de doo, right? I was a little upset that on those cards, as you walk in, there were people missing. Okay. Every belt holder, even the fucking tag teams, had a fucking photo. I'm like, where the goddamn is fucking Ricky Saints? Like, come on now. It doesn't take much to fucking slap him on a fucking photo and put neon font or whatever the fuck. Yeah. So I was like, but it was great to see fucking Fatu on there. I was like, just amazing.
So cool.
Yeah, it's so great. So
I was
this
wearing my
one,
LA Knight tank top when Jacob won, and I was all like, look, it's not that I'm happy LA Knight lost, but if he's going to lose to anyone on the planet, Jacob Fatu is really hard to say no to.
yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Like,
that's
yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
amazing. And it's funny because I always think that, man, for a lot of years WWE didn't want to have anything to do with him because of his past, and
Yeah.
it's amazing to kind of see. But so this year you had to pay $55, okay,
To just
go
for
in.
entry.
Yes, to see. Well, not if you went to the superstore, it was free, but to see the shit like we saw, you paid $55. Whereas we just walked in and saw all that stuff, right? I would get it. Like when we went in LA, the only things we couldn't really see were like when they did those like interview things, or the ring when they have NXT. Like those are the things we really didn't see. But to pay fucking $55 for that shit? No.
Yeah, it's kind of bogus to fucking, especially because like, I mean, it's fucking bogus. If you're out there and you don't have WrestleMania tickets, you're watching your money because you want to support the right things, right? Like, you probably have a budget, and this is how much I'm going to spend on merch and autographs and all that. And if you did buy tickets to WrestleMania, and now you also want me to buy entry to look at some of the old merch, like it's like old gear and stuff. Like,
yeah, they actually
this
didn't even
isn't the
have.
actual Hall of Fame. And if they even posted, which we know is not true, but if they'd even posted and said all proceeds to this portion of the superstore is going towards a fund to build a physical brick and mortar Hall of Fame, then I think a lot of us as fans would be like, well, it'd be nice, but they're just fucking putting it in their pockets so you can walk around, and the thing's already fucking there. And people are there to spend money to begin with on the other shit. I'm there to buy a $45 t-shirt, and now you want me to spend $55 to walk through that? Well, I guess I'm not getting the t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of fucked up.
the lines were ridiculous. It took people almost an hour and a half to get in. And then remember how when we saw it in LA, they had that whole line. There's at least 100 cashiers.
Yeah.
They had maybe 25. And they
Yeah.
weren't in line. They were in this little thing. And I'm like, no wonder nobody's getting through. Like when I saw it, they were really bad at stocking up, you know. So what I ended up getting, I was like, I needed that Cena shirt. And I was like, oh, all they were was mediums and a 4X. And then I saw one that said 2X. I'm like, great. I didn't realize it was the women's cut until I got home. I'm like, damn it. But I'm like, it's okay. You know, I got it. It was very hard to get. They only had Hall of Fame shit for Triple H, which was shocking to me. Because I thought, you know, they should have had more, but you know, like they did in LA. But
I did see a picture they were selling the Finally the Rock has come back to Vegas t-shirt, which was really funny because he didn't show up.
Didn't show up. Exactly.
To any of the events.
Nothing at all. And I think
not even the fucking little podcast they do before. Those little like the little ones where it's just like, hey, we're gonna talk at the thing. None of that.
None via satellite. Nothing. Even he did the next was it yesterday? He did Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
Or was it today? Yeah. I mean,
yeah, you did Pat McAfee to run Damage Control to say this is why he didn't come out, and it was no, it was just bad. It was just a bad finish to an otherwise great match. Because a lot of people were trying to shit on that match. I'm gonna let you get right back to it, but a lot of people were shitting on Cody versus Cena as a match, saying that it was slow. Cena was only doing his normal moves. And I was okay with that because psychologically that makes sense. And to be honest, I was at the edge of my seat all the way up until Travis Scott came out. And then I went, what are we fucking doing now?
Yeah.
And then I jumped up thinking, oh, he can't be alone. Oh, this can't be the finish. And then it ended and you go, that was the finish. The match was good. But that whole thing was shit. But
I'll tell you, I thought like when people were, it was slow. It's like Cena actually was doing some things that he never really did when, you know, in his heyday, which I thought was pretty cool. I loved the fucking black and white entrance. I loved him, like, when he walked down to the ramp, he didn't run. He just walked.
Yep.
He just walked. And I thought
he didn't talk to Stu. He didn't look in the camera and said, let's go to work, Stu, or anything.
Nope.
I was thinking he might say something shitty to Stu.
Yeah.
Just as a fucking gimmick. But I don't think he's even got it in him to talk some shit to Stu. I think he's just all like, oh, I'd rather just ignore him.
Yeah. Let me just, we're okay. You don't exist to me. Yeah. I did like the fact when he did win the belt, he put it on backwards.
Yep. Because
there's all these
walking
little
out.
touches. Yeah. There's all these little touches that were great. I wanted the towel because the towel was really kind of cool. It reminded me of like Wheel of Fortune. You know, but they didn't have that in store. So I'm like, okay, all right. My bad. But they didn't have any more clear bags that were $5. So I got like a grocery store looking bag. Where is it? Oh, where is it? I have everything all over the place.
Oh, the little plastic flimsy ones?
No, well, it's a little substantial. I'm sorry, I have my background here, but it's one. Oh, hold on. How do I fucking do this? Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's one of those, like a grocery shopping bag. Yeah, but I wanted a clear one because everybody's all damn clear ones. Clear this, clear that. Yeah, and I'm like, yo, especially because, and here's my gripe, okay? Places run out of bags. So if you're buying a bunch of shit and they don't have a bag and they're like, oh, come back later, we should have some. No, I'm not coming back later, and my shit's gonna get ruined because some asshole's gonna spill fucking beer or whatever,
I've been using the same WWE plastic bag for all the events I go to since like 2018. The thing is starting to piss me off about that is they're starting to have size regulations on clear bags, and it's a clear bag, whether or not there's an extra inch. Because there was one, I went to a fucking SmackDown once, and they said that my bag was like an inch too big. And I was like, but it's clear. And they're like, yeah, but it's a little too big. And I was like, too big for what? You can
Yeah.
see what's behind it. And my producer lady was all, don't argue with him. And I was like, no. I get what he's saying, but I need him to say it to me. I was like, I've worked security for a lot of years. I did law enforcement. What are we saying here? Why does it need to be clear? Because you need to see what's in it. I'm having an empty bag that you're upset is an inch too much of clarity where you can see there's nothing there. And it's going in. So that means that the best case scenario is I'm filling it up with merch. Like I'm taking this in to fill it up. Like, what are you doing? And they made me take it back to the car. And I was just all like, say out loud that you're making me take back a clear bag because you can see too much into it.
Yeah. So stupid. So I actually bought something because I thought, it's kind of cute. It kind of is durable, but the luggage people away make these miniature little clear. Well, they're not
that's
clear.
Cool.
They're not clear. Now they had a limited edition pink one and a green one. So I think I want the green one too. But let me show you.
By the
I
way,
was able.
Willis came through fucking a minute ago and said good evening. So cheers to Willis.
Willis.
Well.
But let me show you what I did. This is smart. So one of the things I did, and if they question me, of course, I could say whatever, is I had one of these little things by Bagoo, right?
Oh,
It says foldable little things. So when they didn't have a bag, I just pulled that out of my thing and went whoop, whoop, and had a bag, and they don't know what that is. And like with women, I could say, I'm putting my stuff in it. I have things in there because I don't want people to see it in this clear bag.
Yeah.
That's gross, right? So, but yeah, shout out to Away. They have a green one and then this pink one, and it fits that really small dimension one. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. The little fucking handbag dimensions. Yeah.
Yep. It totally does. And what's great, it has its own little dust cover, but I used that all weekend. It was great. Had no issues.
No.
So, and I was able to carry, put in one of those bags. Now, putting a t-shirt in it, little hard. So, yeah, that's why I was like, I need to have the little bag in there. But, hey, like, I wasn't prepared to buy like the poster from Stand and Deliver. I wasn't, it's like, you guys should fucking have, goddamn stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you guys should have that. Like, why should
I usually sell those ones on the shop, if I'm honest. The signed poster gimmicks.
I didn't see it yet. But I didn't buy the signed one. I bought the unsigned one because I couldn't justify. Yeah, I couldn't justify paying the. I also bought the shirt too, but there's a reason why I bought the shirt. But no, I did the one that the non-signed guy because I hate this fucking things. But yeah, I did the non one because what if something happens to it? So I thought it was pretty cool and frame it along with my Defy one that Ricky's on. But also I did buy the shirt because you know what? I have the 3 pay-per-views that I went to that Ricky was on. So I bought each one of them and I said, you know what? I should probably buy this shirt too. So I did. And
yeah, that's a fucking good shirt.
I'm skipping ahead to Saturday, but I'm going to go back in reverse. But just because we're talking about merch, guess who had a new shirt? That guy.
No.
Hold on. Yeah.
There it is.
There we go.
Yeah, Ricky's new yellow shirt.
Yes. Okay, so when I got into the venue, I was like looking because I was like, where's the merch? Duh, it's right in front of me. And then I'm like, no way. I said that, no way. And this guy was like thinking I'm crazy. I go, Ricky fucking listens to the people. He didn't fucking come out with a black shirt. His the yellow, it just stood out. Obviously, it's New Orleans Saint colors, but shit, Ricky done good. Ricky done good. Yeah, and it doesn't have his name all plastered. It's on the back, very subtle, And yeah, so I had to shout out to that, the merch. I think that Stephanie Vakir and Julia have really good shirts too. They were really nice. I was impressed with that. So also impressed with a lot of the cosplay. I saw two who were dressed as Stephanie Vakir. One of them, holy shit, I don't know how she made those fucking horn things, but they look legit, like
Really good.
total legit. Yeah, it was really good. And there was someone that was Julia. A lot of Chelsea Greens all around.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the full blown with the hat and everything and all of
So-
that. I did. Yeah.
I've gone on before about little issues I have with Chelsea Green stuff, but
Mhm.
I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, and on Dropout, there's a new program called Titan Takedown, where Brennan Lee Mulligan, the DM, is doing a program and a storyline built specifically for these wrestlers, and it's a wrestling themed D&D with a ring and everything, and it's Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Chelsea Green, and Bailey, and it has been so fucking good.
Oh wow.
It's actually made me a bigger fan of Chelsea. Like, it makes me really like her.
Oh wow.
So anybody who's interested in D&D, check out Dropout Titan Takedown. It's fucking great.
That sounds fun. That sounds fun. Yeah, I will say that there was actually some other cosplay. You know, you saw the little kids as Cody. I saw two Cenas. They were adults. And you know, there were some really interesting ones. I saw someone was the Undertaker. That was really cute. He was a little tiny little kid. That was cute. I saw a couple of LA Knights. Yeah, you have to say that when you see them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, she's a champion. The kid didn't know what I was talking about. So I said, okay, I'm moving on. But it was really cool to see all of that. And, you know, and some parents getting into it too. There was one, and I swear to God, I think that, and I was like, why would anybody fucking cosplay Johnny Gargano? But it was like a husband, a wife, and a kid, and it was Gargano, Candace, and their kid. I'm like, why anyone would do that? I have no idea. That was a little weird, but you know, to each their own, I guess. I don't know. There was one gal that did a real good Bianca Belair. She had the fucking hair. That thing went to the ground. She was swinging it around. I know people got mad at her. They're like, quit swinging that thing, because, you know, people were getting whipped with it. So that was fun. That was fun. I did not see. Gosh, you know what? Those are really pretty much the only like cosplay you saw. You didn't see, it's not as much as like when I've gone to AEW or even on the Jericho cruise. Not as much. Yeah. So that was kind of an interesting call out, I thought, to that. I also thought that what was it? I also thought that, you know, with the Superstore and all of the fucking problems that they had, like, when you got the $55 thing, they let you have you had your own entrance. But what was stupid was there was a fucking line. I'm like, just let people fucking go in there, you know? I mean, it's not anything that's like, who's it gonna hurt, you know? I thought it was, yeah. I thought the store, yeah. I thought the store was smaller than LA. Hands down. Hands down. They had more different types of merch. Well, no, actually, no. LA had more merch, to be honest. They had better specialty shirts. Like, remember the one I bought with the Usos and Roman?
Oh, yeah. That was so fucking cool.
Awesome. They didn't have anything like that. You know, and I'm like, what the hell?
That, and they had the variation of the Cody shirt that was going to be different online.
Yep. Mm-hmm. The finishes story where he actually, in the one when you bought at WrestleMania, he was wearing the coat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, they didn't see that. I wanted that fucking Mitchell and Ness, the black and gold John Cena shirt. didn't have my size. They're online, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to get that now. But it was really interesting to see what they had and what they didn't have. So they had tons of fucking yeet shirts up the yin yang, you know, hardly anything with Rhea. A lot of the stars didn't have anything. Like a lot of the women didn't have anything. Like Bailey had nothing. Charlotte had nothing. Well, who cares about Charlotte? You know, it just was interesting to see. They had one Tiffany shirt, and that was it. Yeah, and I was like, you could have done so much more, you know. And there was like one Gunther shirt too. I'm like, what the hell, right? So, yeah, but it was, if they charge money again next year, it's not worth it. It's not, people.
Did you go into that spot? Did you pay the $55 to go through?
Yeah, I had to, in order to go to Ricky Starks.
Oh, so wait, did you not do the entrance thing?
Which one? The entrance, like the.
Well, you said that you get your own entrance. Is that the thing where they play the music and stuff, and you get to have like a wrestler's entrance?
Yeah, but you know how long the line was?
Oh, it was stupid.
It was stupid. I was like, this is ridiculous, right? And I was like, no, because I was like, what entrance would I do? I thought that to myself, like, what would I do, right? And I said, you know, the only one that I would probably do if I did one, because I'd mock it, would be Phil Brooks. I'd mock it. Oh yeah, and he had like 5 shirts too. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, I'm like, come on, like seriously, like we don't need all of that. But no, I had to pay for it to get into the photos and stuff. That's kind of a trap, I think, because that's, you know.
I was gonna say that part's fucked up. If you buy a meet and greet, you shouldn't pay $50 just to go and get in line for it.
Exactly. I did see AJ Styles on a panel, so that was awesome.
That's cool.
You know, unexpected. I didn't get to see the NXT matches. I know when I went, JC Jane was in one of them. I don't know if all of Fatal Influence was on there, but I don't know. I feel my thing is, it's like you can't replicate Toxic Attraction. I am so sorry.
Yeah, they're trying.
You just can't. That's just no. But it was interesting. Now these signings, right? We all know that I'm very jealous of Marsh and his photo with John Cena.
No, yeah, it's a good one.
So jealous, because I don't have one. All I have are memories of touching his ass with 2 hands.
The old two-handed.
You know, the old two-handed grab. And I have his autograph too. He autographed it in front of me. He autographed my copy of 12 Rounds, because it was when 12 Rounds came out on DVD, and he did a signing. No pictures, but you could, yeah.
For 12 Rounds?
Yeah.
Is that a fucking movie? Is that a shitty movie?
Actually, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Of the WWE movies, yes, I enjoyed that one. The Marine, I think he was the worst Marine.
Really? He was the original Marine.
I know, and he was the worst Marine.
There's no Marines without him as a Marine. What are you talking about?
There's Marines afterwards, but he was not a good Marine. I mean, you know, I'm just saying. But no, 12 Rounds was great. It was really fun. If you haven't seen 12 Rounds, you need to see it. Is it better than Boone the Bounty Hunter? I don't know. Jury's out. I love Boone the Bounty Hunter. Not gonna lie. Love that. But yeah, so you had to pay. And though for Cena, he only had that $10,000 a person. See, I'm so jealous. They're sitting there like they're friends.
Just like we're hanging, having a cigar. Just like a couple dudes, you know?
I'm like, where's the cigars, dude? And like, you know, the fucking, like,
I got one in my hand. You can see it right there. There's a cigar right there.
See? Like, yeah, that is like a fucking great photo, because, you know,
they did such a bang up job with it, because they legit made it look like we were just a couple dudes hanging. Like if you look right behind his arm, there's like a little bottle and glasses. They wanted him to be like pushed back, and so it looked like we had the glasses with us because we're drinking that drink. But he was like, no, I'm getting close to my fans, and he like leaned in for everybody and stuff. Like,
oh, nice.
He pushed it back. He was like, sorry guys, you know, and it was just like sweet.
No, it's not about the thing. See,
Yeah.
I'm so jealous. Okay, I'm so jealous.
Yeah,
So
me and
that
Jim were just kicking
10,000,
it. Me
I
and
know you guys,
JC, you know.
JC, yeah, Mr. C, yeah, you
Mhm.
totally. Now, like, I wasn't going to pay $10,000, and I don't know exactly what came with it, but it sold out. So people shelled out like 10 grand to fucking. I don't know if it was like they had dinner with Cena I don't know what it was,
I
but it was
mean, yeah,
something.
it was something like that, but there was like 25 seats available, which means best case he just comes in the room at some point. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't
But
imagine that he's just talking to everybody. You know what I mean?
if you're paying $10,000, you would think there should be a little bit something.
You
I'm not saying he comes out in his tidy whities and his
That'd be
peacemaker.
nice.
I'm not saying that. That would be a great value. But, I mean,
It would be a
that's
great
just,
value.
yes. And then finally, it was released very last minute that he was doing the photo op. 300. No, it was like 380 something. I would have dropped that because,
Yeah,
yeah, I totally would have dropped that. But it was gone by the time I fucking tried to
even
get it.
saw
And
it.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, no. Because I totally would have like snuck in my fucking peacemaker. Yeah. Have you signed one of these? I almost want to
Yeah.
pull it out and have you sign the butt. But, yeah, I
That'd be neat.
would get thrown out. I'd get thrown out probably. So, yeah.
You could
But,
display it with the butt pointing out. You know what's funny is
yeah.
my dad got to meet Hulk Hogan recently, and he went because Hogan was doing that beer tour, and it was a grocery store literally around the corner from his house. He's like, it's a couple minutes away. And I told him, I was all like, hey, I know this is a little shot in the dark, and I'm not a big Hulk Hogan fan for a
No.
number of reasons.
Yeah,
But
same here.
at the end of the day, he still is Hulk Hogan. We still were little wrestling fans. So there is
Yep.
something about it. He's the one dude I haven't met that I can't tell if I want to or not. You know what I mean? Like, part of me kind of wants to meet him just because it's fucking Hogan, but there's a part of me that's kind of like, also fuck Hogan, though. Like, I kind of
Yeah.
don't give a shit. But I had this 8x10 of Mean Gene Okerlund interviewing Hogan, and it was signed by Mean Gene. And I told my dad, I was like, I have it, and it's always looked like it's missing Hogan's signature. I was like, I'll send it out to you if you think you give it a shot. And he goes, send it out. And so I sent it to him, and my dad was standing in line with it inside of an envelope. And he said all the handlers and stuff were telling my dad, like, don't pull it out, don't put it in front of him, don't do anything. And my dad's all like, all right, everybody calm down. So in the picture my dad took with Hogan, my dad looks pissed. But I guess right after, he just slid it in front of Hogan and said, and without even saying anything, he said that Hogan was staring at the picture and started telling him a story about Mean Gene and talking about how important Mean Gene was to him in his career. And my dad's like, I wish I knew more about what he was talking about, because he seemed to be having a moment. And he's all like, and I could tell you, he goes, but it was all just flying past me. And then Hogan grabbed the marker and just signed it and then moved him along. And then so my dad slid it back in and he sent it to me. So it looks all nice now. But it's funny. He also took a picture with Jimmy Hart, because Jimmy Hart was there. And that one, everyone's like laughing because Jimmy Hart's just the nicest motherfucker in the planet.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, like
But-
that's how I feel about Hillbilly Jim. That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
And Hacksaw's like that for me.
Hacksaw's like that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who else? Ricky Morton.
Mm-hmm.
Totally like that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. He for some reason he like remembers me, but I'm like, okay. The most random people do. So I'm just like, okay, like But yes,
His son wrestles now for the Juggalos.
Yeah, in GCW, he got fucking booed out of spring break. Yeah,
He's really good.
he is good.
He's really
He is good. He is really good. I was very impressed. So yeah, actually, it was the senior citizen match that Joey put on.
Yeah.
All the senior citizens.
Was it Ricky and his son?
Well, Ricky and Ricky was in there. There was a bunch of guys, and
Oh, okay.
his son came out like, why are we watching these old geezers?
That's funny.
And just like came out and was like, you should be watching me and blah blah blah. And then someone was like, control your kid or whatever. So it was fun. Now, were some of those photos and autographs worth the money that they were charging? I
Mm-hmm.
don't think so. I don't think so, because some of them were kind of ridiculous. Okay. Jake Cargill wanted like $80. No. Sorry. No. You had some people like Stephanie Vakir and Julia sold out completely, and it was actually not bad. It was like 47.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, that's how much Ricky's was. Trick was like 29. So there was like a different variance in how much there was with it.
That's
So yeah,
it's a little annoying and a little upsetting, because I understand part of it is like they can't just say it's free and have the line be 10,000 people, so they have to figure out regulations. But like at a certain point too, if you just made it all $50 across the board, first come first serve, the ones that were going to sell out are still going to sell out, and the ones that wouldn't have sold out might sell out now.
Yeah.
And it just seems like you pay these motherfuckers enough. This is the big weekend where everyone's getting the most money, and who's getting padded there is 100%. Fuck, you could probably ask Ricky and find out. But does the funds from the signature and the photos go to him, or do they go back to the company and then he gets a cut? You know what I mean? Or does he even get a cut?
I think it goes back to the company, and I don't think he gets a cut. That's why I think that's why, and it hasn't officially been said to me, but I think that's why he's not using the Starks name. Because he owns it. He owns it. And he doesn't
Well, he
want
wasn't going to license it to them.
No, absolutely not. No. And besides, you have this one guy in WWE ID, Ricky Smokes. Okay, that guy's got to change his fucking name. And then obviously you have Zoe Stark. So yeah, but she's been Zoe Stark for a long time. So, whatever. But Gunther.
But she wasn't until she came in.
Yeah, when she came in. But,
but at the same time, he was already over when he walked in. Like the idea that he came out there within minutes of signing a contract without a name and cut a promo, and they were chanting Ricky Starks, the whole crowd. Okay, whatever name we give him is going to be fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as much as you say, yeah, that name's over, you're like, no, that guy is over.
Yeah.
As long as he keeps Ricky, the rest of it will be fine.
Yeah, the guy is definitely, it's like, he was one of those things. Now, someone had tried to tell me it's because people feel bad for him because he was shelved. I go, no, you shouldn't feel bad for him that he was shelved. No, it was more like he's now he's now going to prove you shelved me. Well, fuck you. This is what you missed. And that's kind of the thing there. And you can see that's the chip, because it's like
it's
for
not
whatever
that anyone
reason,
feels bad for him for being shelved, because a ton of people get shelved and no one feels bad for them, or everyone feels bad for them to a degree, but they cared that he got shelved because he was too good to be shelved, because he was too over to be shelved. There's a lot of guys that get shelved and you go, oh, they're still there. You know what I mean? Like fucking Action Andrade or whatever the fuck. Andrade El Idolo. All those motherfuckers get shelved for long periods of time and no one cares.
Action, he was teaming with Leo Rush.
He's back right now, but he was off TV for like 2 years and no one cared.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know who's off TV and no one seems to care? Happy birthday, Britt Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots
I
of people
thought she might debut on this NXT yesterday, but she did not.
No. Okay, here's the thing, right? Nobody wants her toxicity there. Nobody. She's a bitch. Nobody wants that. You know who I want to see in WWE? God damn it. Fucking Thunder Rosa. That she would be so fucking over because the kids already love her. La Mera needs to be fucking over there. But that's just me saying it. Oh yeah, Donovan Dijak, happy birthday. There's quite a few today.
Hit him up.
Yeah. Oh, I'll hit him up. Hold on here. All right. So
By the way, I've got a new drink in my glass. I've got Dragon's Milk Crimson Keep. It's a
What the
bourbon
hell is
barrel
that?
red ale.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
pretty solid.
Interesting.
I should let it get a little bit colder, but
Well, it happened. And you know what was across the street from the Palms? Sponsored, not sponsored. I brought a tear to my eye. Oh yeah, I was like,
what was across from Palms?
Sonic.
Oh,
I said sponsored, not
yeah.
sponsored. Yes.
I don't remember the last time I've seen you with a Sonic.
Well, no, I had one actually a couple of weeks ago, but now, okay, so now they're going and doing plastic cups, and it melts everything so quick. So I bring like Stanleys and stuff and pour them in.
Oh,
Yeah, so you could take a Route 44, put it in a Stanley, the big one, and you're good to go. I personally, that was my thing. But in Vegas, they still had the styrofoam cups. I was like, this is great.
It's because Vegas doesn't care about the environment like California does.
Yeah, but still, who cares? Who cares? Okay, so here's other birthdays. Jamie Hayter. I don't like her 70s look right now. It's kind of weird. Moose. Fucking Gabe Kidd. Happy birthday, dude. I didn't know that. I would have fucking totally said something. Yuji Nagata. Amazing Red. Kane. But there is one more.
No.
There is one more. I want to wish happy birthday to the greatest jorts wearer in the world. Happy birthday, John Cena. These peaches are for you.
Man.
They
have fucked up this heel turn so bad. By thinking it was going to work the way they did, it was just so. It was kind of.
It's underwhelming. The whole thing it's underwhelming.
The whole crowd is giving them every fucking chance. You know what I mean? Because they so desperately want him to be a heel. So anytime he does or says anything remotely mean, they cheer because he's a fucking big baby face. Like, it's so crazy. I watch these people in some of my group chats just talking about, oh yeah, he's the best heel. He's such a great heel. And you're like, do you realize you're cheering him right now? You realize you're just talking about how good he is, about, oh, this is finally what I wanted. That's a babyface thing to give you, dude.
No.
Like, basic psychology is that I should boo you because I don't like your character. This is, I'm cheering you because I like what you're doing with your character. So I'll boo to play along. At best, he's an MJF heel. At best, which is a worthless fucking yay boo. Yay! Oh, okay, boo, okay, boo. I'll play boo. And it's like, okay.
No. I also think with him too is, I don't know, maybe I was, thinking back that, we're gonna get that era of the Doctor of Thugonomics.
That's what I thought.
And so maybe it's a little disappointing, but he's kind of making the most of it, and it's very sarcastic, I think, more so than being a heel. Especially that press conference. I mean, that just kind of said it. That was great. That kind of said it for me, and I'm just like, yep, he's all good. So, Ricky and the photo. I think I didn't send it to you. Can I show it? How do I have to do it? How do I do it?
I don't know where it is, Amanda.
My photo?
Yeah.
It's on my computer.
Then text it to me.
Okay, hold on.
Pop it up.
Okay, hold on. All right. But no, this is there with this picture, I will say it's very special. All right.
It's only episode 1.
It's only episode 1, guys. I mean, shit. And it's really episode 1 because, you're seeing the OG over here. Yeah. Because in March, I don't think you've had to wrangle me in at all.
No, we've been good.
Okay. So there was me and my little homemade shirt, which they sent the wrong size, which it says Sinners and Sinners love saints. He fucking
Yep.
loved that. When he saw me, big old fucking cheesy ass fucking grin, give me a big old hug and whatnot. And the guy was like, "Oh, let me take a picture." I'm like, "Wait," because my glasses were falling down. So
Yeah.
I was like, "Can we have a redo?" No, they didn't like that. I'm like, "Come on, you're paying all this money. You should at least let them have a redo." But it's okay. It's okay. But one of the things, like before we left, he was like, he says to me, "I'm really glad that you got to see me in this." And I was like, "No, no, no. I'm glad that I got to see you with that, with the belt."
Yeah. I mean,
I'm
he's been there
crying.
what? He's been there like what, a month?
Month and a half. Yeah.
And he already has fucking gold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's less than 2
Yeah.
months in and he's got a championship. Like that
Yeah.
sets the stage, that sets a standard that lets people know right away this is somebody we're looking at. This is
Yeah.
somebody who's on the fast track. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
was it LA Knight? It took him fucking a couple months. He had the $1 million belt, right? But it
Yeah.
wasn't anything.
And then he did
But
that shitty fucking model thing.
yeah, I mean, and that was just it though. I'm saying like in NXT, they tell you right away who they think is kind of valuable right away. And then whatever happens next, right? But
Yeah.
and LA Knight came in at a really fucking weird time.
Yeah.
But for Ricky to be holding gold already in fucking month and a half, month and some change, you know what I mean? Like that's fucking big. That means like, oh yeah, this is one of our guys.
This is the guy. Yeah. And I think that with him, it's, it's very surreal to me because once upon a time he had told me, "I've tried out for WWE 4 different times. I've done enhancement talent, I've done whatever, but I don't understand like why, like, am I awful?" Like, and he had a lot of self-doubt, and I was like, "It's just you at the time didn't fit anywhere." Okay. And then
Yeah.
I think really what
Regal has said that in interviews before too, where he says that he's
Mhm.
told some guys. I think Keith Lee talked about that the first time he tried out like 3 or 4 times before he got signed, and his career did what it did. But I think one of the things that Regal had told him is we don't have a spot for you, but keep doing what you're doing, and eventually we
Yeah.
will. You
Yeah.
know, and it wasn't
I
like you
don't
have to do stuff better or different. It's
Yeah.
just that we don't know what we would do with you right
Yeah.
now.
I don't think with Ricky that's the case because there's always kind of a spot for someone like him, but obviously he'd be kind of like benched if anything. But my big thing is I think now with him, they're making sure that when they move him up, it's not going to fucking be like what happened to Carmelo, right? And it was like
Yeah.
down the shitter because that's really sad. And so I think that's kind of why. Is he going to be like Braun Breaker when he comes up? It's like dominating everything. I don't know. I don't
I don't
know.
think he'd be a Braun type, but
Yeah,
there's
I
definitely
think
a lot of spots for him, a lot of options there for him.
there are a lot. I think this is what I create my crazy ass is thinking, right? Is that at Money in the Bank, okay, somehow they're going to have like an NXT match, right? I don't know, for a belt, for the briefcase, and he'd win it, and he'll cash it in New Orleans. Yeah, because once that happens for him, that's it. He's done everything he wanted to do. Everything. Got to
That's in
wrestle.
July, isn't it? Money in the Bank?
No, it's actually June.
Is it June?
Yeah, because they haven't sold
It's gonna be
tickets
in
yet
LA.
because that's
Yeah.
going to be Well, earlier that day is the NXT AAA
AAA, yeah.
show. Yeah, which is going to be cool. I don't know who they're going to put versus the Kingo. That's going to be, I don't know. It could be a multitude of people, but that'll
Who
be
would you
really
book against Vikingo? If you want to pick someone from NXT, who do you think would make the most of it?
I think Javon Evans.
Yeah, that's a
Mhm.
really good call.
Yeah, Javon
Kid
Evans.
fire. That kid's fire, and
He is fire.
there's
Yeah.
something about him that's just like a little, seems to me like a little not quite ready for prime time, but he's like so fucking close, and he's so
Yeah.
young and has so much fire that you're like, yo, when it hits, it's gonna hit. You know,
Mhm.
he seems like
Yeah.
that type.
Yeah. I would book him against Vikingo because
Yeah, he would
obviously
make the
he has
most of
that
it.
type- Yeah, and he would. He absolutely would. You know, one
I was
thing
even
that
saying that they should have put him in that Randy Orton match instead of Joe Hendry because
I know, but you hate Joe Hendry.
yeah, because he's terrible. And at least with Javon Evans, they're using their own talent to promote another promotion. Him and Randy have a history because Randy came down and had a match with him, and that's the one that Javon Evans like fucked up the RKO. And then
Yeah.
Randy just kind of laughed about it and was like, "It's fine, dude. You're the man." And he was like saying, "This kid's really good." Well, what if you had open challenge? And he goes, "I want a second shot at you. Give him 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes with Orton, and he still can't get it done. And you still have Randy go, but one day, man, you're getting
Yeah.
there." You know, that'd have been
Yeah.
a huge moment for Javon, but instead it was a throwaway moment for a clown.
He's not a clown. I love fucking. He was so over. That fucking stadium was fucking singing that song. Now, not everybody waved their hands from side to side. Not everybody. I did it. I did when I was watching it myself. You know, because that's what I do. But you know, I think that's. I mean, he's already on that track to become WWE, especially because when they were in Scotland and like the things he was doing with Drew, and
I
yeah,
honestly think
really
this shows me, this to me feels like it's an
Mhm.
indication that they have no plans to bring him in because they're
Really.
using him here and there in these ways that are like, this is really big for Joe. This is really big for TNA in a way, but you're not
Mhm.
bringing in more people with it. Like I know Hendry was on some stupid podcast trying to say that right now he's just trying to bring the most eyes to TNA. And I don't know anybody who saw that who doesn't watch TNA who thought they should start watching TNA. Everyone said that's their champion. Like honest to God, I had people texting me saying, "Is that really the TNA champion? What the fuck?" And I was all like, "Yeah, dude, that's their thing right now is they're into clowns."
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I don't think it's bringing the eyes to them. And I don't know that
Yeah.
I think if they wanted to build TNA, you don't bring out their champion, make him look goofy, and then destroy him.
Yeah.
Like,
They should have done something like I will say Obafemi and Moose. Holy fuck.
I feel
Yeah.
like this. I feel like they gave Joe Hendry a WrestleMania moment
Mhm.
because this is the only time you're getting a WrestleMania moment. And
Possibly.
Triple H is a softie. You know what I mean? And I think that there's certain guys that they've held off from WrestleMania moments because
Mhm.
no. When you get your Mania moment, it's going to be a moment. Like LA Knight wasn't in the LA WrestleMania. Remember, we thought that was insane. It's
Mhm.
because the next year he was going to have another Mania moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they hold off on guys that they think they can build something out of. They hot flash the guys who they think that they're just a flash in a pan. I think Hendry
Yeah.
to them is a flash.
Yeah, I can kind of see that, you know. I also think that maybe what's interesting is this TNA thing. I don't know. I think that it's kind of like, is it run its course? I know you still get
I
matches
wonder.
out of it, but you
Mm.
know, still it's the same thing. My thing would have been like, why did you need to sign Jordan Grace? You could have
Yeah,
used
I
her
don't know
from
why they
there.
signed Jordan Grace. I don't know why they didn't sign Hammerstone. I don't know why TNA let Hammerstone leave.
I
Like, what the
know.
fuck are they doing? Like,
I have no idea. I have no idea. No idea.
yeah, but now Hammerstone's back in MLW, and I'm all like, fuck.
Yeah, he's trapped. I'm like, oh yeah. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot of things that people that shouldn't have been signed and whatever. I really do feel that Jade should have gone to NXT.
I honestly think that's why they pulled her from TV a couple of times. Is I think they keep trying to polish her more and more. And to be honest, her match with Naomi was really good.
Yeah, it wasn't
It
bad
was a really good
for
match.
her.
And on that note, a one-on-one women's match, no title on the line. The last time we had a one-on-one women's match for a grudge match was like 20 years ago, and it was a
No
pillow fight.
way. No
It was a
way.
pillow fight.
Wow.
It wasn't a legit match. As much as like we can do semantics, so but it's even on the board, right? They did a one-on-one match without a title 20 years
Wow.
ago, pillow fight. It's taken
Wow.
20 years to get a one-on-one women's match that's a grudge match on there. And not only did it happen, but it happened with Naomi and it happened
Mhm.
with another black woman, Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not trying to discredit her name.
Yeah.
How fucking cool. How amazing. Also, when you think about when Naomi left and she was doing these interviews, like all I wanted was a good story. Like she's talked about in interviews where I mean, producer lady had a fucking 2-minute Zoom call with her one time and was saying like, "Oh, we want you to have a big moment and whatnot." And she said something along the lines of like, "I've already won the title at WrestleMania in my hometown." She goes, "I don't need to win something." She's like, "I just want to have a great story that people care about, and I want to show what I'm capable of doing." This was it. This was the
Mhm.
thing she's been waiting on. The only sad part about that is it really makes me think that this is it, and she's ready to have kids now, and that
Yeah.
she just wanted this so she could bow out on a high note. So my fear is that we might not have a lot of Naomi left because she might be like, "I did it, and I'm ready to have," because she's been wanting to have kids for a long time. She's talked about it,
Yeah.
but she
Yeah.
doesn't know when's right.
Yeah.
But at this point, she did that. She did something that hasn't been done in over 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, a
Yeah.
legitimate
And that's,
one-on-one women's match without a title on the line, just emotion. That is
yeah,
it.
that
Fucking
was
great.
great. That
And
was
put over a
totally
new
great.
talent. Put over another strong black woman talent. It's not like she fucking folded for Charlotte. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
that's fucking means something. Like, it's just
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I think that was the way to go with that. I thought that was just stellar, and there's just some things that WWE does not do right. Some
Yes.
things that they just are amazingly, they do it and it's amazing. Um, it's kind of strange to me that a lot of some of the signings that are coming and probably will come, it's just kind of sad because it's all it's like big dick energy. Like, haha, I'm going to have this. Now, one thing that I am curious about your opinion on, right? We haven't really talked about it. So, that Naito left New Japan,
Okay.
right? Bushi left New Japan. Jeff Will Hobbs. Jeff Cobb left New Japan. He was the first one.
Yeah.
And they're saying he's actually, I think he's hinted that he's going to the E. I don't know. Right now, he shouldn't be main roster. That's just my opinion. Right now, he needs to be in NXT. I was hoping that he would come out at Stand and Deliver and fucking attack Obafemi. That's what I thought.
That'd be cool.
Didn't happen. Yeah, it didn't happen.
Why do you think he should go to NXT first? Because some of these guys, I think they need to go to NXT to either humble them, to check their ego a little bit at the door. Like when you're talking about Britt Baker, and I said I thought she'd show up at NXT, it's because I don't think they put her on the main roster, because I think that she's one that you bring in and you check her ego right away. Look, we're going to bring you in here, but you're going to know that you don't run the show. And I do think a lot of her ego problems are because she was given a lot of fucking power without any substance behind it or experience. She didn't know what to do with that kind of fucking control. And she was young and dumb. You know what I mean? So maybe she's a little older, maybe she's not. But that's what I was thinking with her. You put her in NXT, you humble her, and you teach her how to wrestle a real match. Because she's only wrestled stupid fucking matches with awful fucking wrestlers, except for the couple she had with Thunder Rosa, which Thunder Rosa had to carry, like fucking carry sandbags through this match.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Jeff Cobb, the only reason I could think to take him, because I don't feel like anything about him has ever given me like hints of ego problems or hints of grandeur. The only reason I could think to put him in NXT, because his matches are also fucking fire, is I think to do what AJ Styles says he wished he'd gotten. AJ wished that he'd gotten a little time of NXT to understand how their production worked. Because it's a different type of production.
Yeah.
And then the other thing would be to build his name, because he doesn't have much of an American name. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Americans don't know who he is.
No, and I think that also even though yes, I'm not saying he's horrible on the mic, right? But he wasn't really using the mic, right? So
He
I
could
think
use
that
some work there.
he can use some work there. He also can, get a little bit more polished with it because I'm sorry, Ring of Honor does not count. Okay, in those Sinclair days, that does not count. New Japan is a different beast. That really doesn't count. So it's more like he needs more of that exposure, and I think he'll be huge. And it's just don't put him there yet because there are different programs he could do, and I really think that they're going to put Obafemi up a little sooner than later. Jeff Cobb's the one who should take it, and I think that would be great, honestly.
Or you either give it to another big man like Cobb, or you have a smaller guy out wrestle Obi. You know what I mean? Because that could be good. A guy like not Rey Mysterio, obviously, but like a Mysterio type, like a giant killer, right? Like remember there's a period of time in WCW was the giant killer. Like someone maybe even like a Ricky who could just what would be good for Ricky too? If they actually got to that point, if you have Ricky try to get that title off Oba, you could have because Ricky's been doing a lot of his fucking goofy shit. He gets on the fucking rope and he dances and he's on the rope for fucking ever. And you go, why doesn't the guy just push him off? I mean, he's doing kind of his indie shit. He's being flashy. He's doing the same thing on the barricade. He's always done that, which is fine. But if you have a match with Obafemi or that shit doesn't fly and he has to get gritty and he has to dig in and he's able to pull it out in the end, that could be transformative for the Ricky character.
He doesn't do all this indie shit because if we did, we'd see fucking his ass all the time.
We would see his butthole. That is true.
Not his butthole. We never. God damn! No. We never saw butthole. Okay, don't spread that rumor. Okay, no, we did not see that. Now we almost saw bubblegum. We almost saw bubblegum. And this was the topic of discussion that we had. I noticed that Ricky's trunks his ass isn't eating them as much anymore. Yeah. So they made him fucking get more of a granny panty.
Yeah.
Yeah. This other gear that he wore the other day, I'm like, oh no, they're probably gonna tell you, dude, it was cut too short because your ass was hanging out, Yeah. Just things like that, I but my theory is
really good with the little shorts, not like the tights, but like the little shorts, like because he's done that once or twice.
Shorts. Yeah, no, that's what he used to wrestle in was booty shorts.
Yeah, and they were those always look great.
Yeah, and they were made by Miss Sandra, and the reason why they look great and made his butt look even, is because there was a gusset that she made in the back, so it actually gave it a little lift, and well, not like it needed any more lift, but. It hey, two hands, but I just, man, people are like, oh man, I ran into people randomly who knew me, right? And they were trying to say to me, oh, Ricky doesn't have the best ass. You need to look at blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, no.
You're like, first off, my DMs are open. You can always flood my DMs with peaches and we can examine them all day.
Yeah. Exactly. Like send me some and then I will take a look. I mean, I'm not being like, like that person, but if you're going to come up to me and say that someone has a better ass and whatever, I think as far as wrestling, I think I am the connoisseur.
Yeah. And you'll fairly judge anything that floods your DM that tells you like, this is what, hey, how does this rank? You'll give it a fair grade.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if you came and you gave me, this is an example, Logan Paul, that's like a D-.
He's not that flat back there. He's got athlete butt.
Yeah, but no, not in him.
Too rigid.
Yeah, it's a little too rigid. And not only that too, but it's like, because of his body type and shit, it should have a little bit more. But it doesn't. It does not.
He doesn't do the squats he should. He's doing more push-ups than squats.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Another one, it's kind of like a D-. Gunther.
Yeah, he's pretty
Yeah.
flat backed.
Yeah, flat back. Even Ludwig Kaiser, he's like flat back. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
is
no,
pretty Adonis like in other ways though.
yeah. You
Like the
need
fact that he's
Adonis.
with Tiffany, it's not like you don't hear that and go, "How could that be?" You go, "God." You know what I mean? Fuck both of them. Who's the
It's like,
assholes?
come on, you know. Yeah. Like shit. No. Now don't even talk to me. It's like don't just don't bother.
All
Yeah,
right.
no. Some Zack Sabre Jr. D, I'd say D plus
No.
when he became Thick Sabre Jr. But I noticed on these shows last weekend he was getting twiggy again. I'm like, no, you need to keep Thick Sabre Jr. around.
Do you think he has any desire to go to WWE or AEW because he makes so much money and is so popular doing what he's doing?
No, he's I think right now he's done with New Japan. And I don't know, like I've been asking people, is it fucking because it's President Tanahashi's reign and it's falling apart? I mean, I speculate that they might have money problems. And if they do, I would hate if Tony Khan bought that. I would hate that. That would go, you're wrecking like wrestling totally. I mean, but then again, I don't know. But I find that with
Can you imagine if Tony Khan bought NJPW and still tried to do a Forbidden Door pay-per-view with
how could you do
NJPW and
that?
AEW? You're like, it's not fucking forbidden if you own it.
It's like it's going from Forbidden Door this is the goddamn door.
Yeah, regular ass door.
Regular ass door. Actually, we'll put a screen before you open a screen door before you open the door. No, it just doesn't make sense. But I think Zach is more. He won't go to WWE. He turned that down, like when they offered it after the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah. Well,
He
that was
turned
a
it
while
down.
ago, though. That was a long time ago. That was a whole different show back then.
Yeah, but also with him is his big thing was he didn't care. He always wanted to wrestle in Japan.
Yeah, but he has done. He's done it now.
Yeah, I know.
So what's his next dream? What's his next move? Be a fucking high school coach?
No.
No. Fucking up.
Yeah.
Because there's also not a lot of options, I think, at this point.
No.
Everyone's tied up with somebody. Between AEW and WWE, there's partnerships with everybody. Yeah. MLW, I think, is the standalone company. Yeah. And even GCW uses WWE all the time.
Yeah, and now he's using Zack Sabre Jr. a lot, GCW. Yeah. And some interesting matches. Yeah. I mean,
that's how I got to meet him, the GCW show with fucking Stackhouse.
Yeah. Woo woo. Yeah. Sam Stackhouse, man. I'm bummed. That was one of my big bummers of the weekend that I didn't actually get to meet Sam.
And interestingly enough, this was the first time you got to see him wrestle, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Hi, me.
It's not your greatest picture of all time, so my apologies to you.
It's okay, but I was so sad. Sam really fucking sold this thing with Fuego del Sol. Okay, tears in my eyes. Yeah, he did. It was fucking great. And there was this guy behind me who was like, that guy is not fucking real. And I'm like, who? And they go, Sam Stackhouse. It's like, dude, he's doing shit that people his size should not be doing. I go, that's what makes him great. That's what makes Sam great. You know, that element of surprise. Yep. Yeah. You know how many people wanted my damn shirt? I had people who were offering me money to take the shirt off.
Stupid Raider shirt?
It's the Bad Boys one. It's the Joey Janela one.
Oh, the Janela one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I had to wear it. It was fucking Las Vegas Raiders, man. Well, it's still weird, but
yeah, no.
Yeah, it makes sense. And people were like, holy shit. Yeah. Fuego Unmasked.
Yeah.
I was like, interesting. I like the storyline.
I haven't got anything from out of Stackhouse on
Mhm.
the legitimacy of any of this.
Yeah, you're not
Like,
gonna.
because I've asked him, I'm not gonna. Because the other thing is, I'm not also gonna fucking try that hard. I was just all like, when I saw this happen, I messaged him and I was like, please tell me he got signed or something. And all he did was heart the message, and I was all like, motherfucker.
Well, one
I
of the things that if you look at the breadcrumbs, and
yeah,
sometimes with GCW, people don't realize that there's lots of storyline in there.
they do a
But
lot.
with Atticus Koger, he was like, talking about like the evil side and seeing his evil side. So I think that's what with the unmasking is going to do. And I have this feeling that Sam will save the day somehow.
Or will
That's just,
Sam turn heel?
that's a good question.
You know what I mean? Because that can also
Yeah,
happen too. I saw the little
yeah,
clip where Stackhouse was telling him, he goes, "You don't even need that mask. I've told you, it's never been the mask. It's always been you. You're
yeah,
good enough. You don't
yeah.
need the mask." Like, he was really
Mhm,
giving it all. And what I love about this too is that the show I went to in Phoenix was the beginning of the storyline, more or less. It was the Cougar
mhm,
brothers, and they
yeah,
tied Fuego to the ropes by his mask, and they
mhm,
skewered the fuck out of Stackhouse, had him bleed out, and he had to get assistance to the back. When he ended up
yeah,
coming out later to sell some merch, he had a big old fucking thing on his head.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but he was I mean, Stackhouse at the time was kind of excited about being part of a storyline that was gonna pan out all the way to Vegas. But then you see this and you go, what? Like, how do
yeah,
you be happy about this? Like, not that it was bad, but that it's devastating, right? Like, it's so good. And I
yep,
even told Fuego there. I shook his hand and I was all like, man, I was all like, watching you and Stackhouse become friends, because I've known Stackhouse, we've known him for a long time, and we knew him
mhm,
before he got to even meet Fuego, more or less. And then
yeah.
I remember when it happened, and then they started they started riding
Princess
together, then
Emerald.
they started getting booked together, and they became like a tag team. And I was like, dude, watching your guys' friendship has been so cool for us on the outside. I feel like it's been like the best thing for both of your guys' career. You guys have both been able to not necessarily take advantage, but take advantage of the situation and the friendship and really
Yeah,
blossom. And Fuego said he couldn't agree more. He goes, absolutely. He goes, our friendship has meant so much to my career, you know?
yeah.
And it's
And
like
you look
crazy.
back when you think of like with Fuego, you think about Guevara and his blogs. I
Yeah.
think his friendship with Sam has brought him more than those vlogs ever brought him. And I'm not, saying with whatever, but I think that it's like evident,
The
because
fans
he's not.
connected to Stackhouse in such a way that Fuego was almost like, I mean, as you talk about getting the rub, right? In a way, he kind of got the rub. He kind of got the Stackhouse rub. Stackhouse is fucking beloved by all these guys, and then when
Mhm,
they see like this is my dude,
mhm,
Stackhouse is the type of dude who tells you believe in this guy, and you just say okay. If Stackhouse believes in him, then I do too. Like, he's one of
mhm,
those types. There's a few friends we all get where they pitch you something, and it's just to say no more. I'm on board.
yep,
Like, and
yep,
Stackhouse
mhm,
is that dude, and he exudes that to the entire fan base. So when he's been running with Fuego, everyone goes, "Oh, Fuego's the guy," and then this, you're just like, "What the fuck is next?"
yeah, yeah. That's where it's going to be a very interesting road to see where the story goes.
Yeah.
So, because it's like, is he done? No, mm-mm. No, no. It's just going to be something really great, and I think that AEW really kind of fucked up because he had so much,
Oh,
but you were looking at him like he was a buffoon, and that wasn't cool. The ultimate jobber. It's like, no, the guy can wrestle.
yeah.
Okay, wrestle better than some of the people on your fucking program.
Well,
So
the thing that the AEW doesn't get is the thing that Fuego can do that's far more important than being able to just wrestle is he can tell a story. He
yeah,
can emote.
exactly.
That's also
Exactly.
really hard to do when you wear a mask.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the lucha style is so vibrant in the
Hmm.
ring because you can't see their faces. They have to sell in
Exactly.
other ways.
Yeah.
Fuego's selling in other ways. He's telling stories in a different way. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
you can't count that
That's
guy
what.
out. So I hope he's
Yeah.
not done.
No, that's why I think it works out. is because I think people are missing that, like the whole storyline pieces of things, like because I always have been a fan of things like that, and I think that's what they're trying to develop in NXT with Ethan Page and Ricky. I think that's one that they're going to go with because that's one they're always going to be at each other's heels, trying to one
I
outdo
hope
the
not.
other. Yeah,
I
well,
really hope not.
for now,
For right now, but I do not want Ethan and Ricky to be the next Sammy and KO because I don't
no,
think Ethan Page can hold his side of the bargain.
no, you're right. I don't think he can either. So my big thing is I'm waiting for fucking him to come up, and I don't know who it will be, but naturally I'm sure he's gonna want to have a program with Cody. I'm
Oh yeah,
naturally,
there's
yeah.
no way he doesn't
So
want at least a match with Cody.
yeah, another one. Yeah, Phil he wants one with. I'm like, oh, how boring! You're gonna drop the fucking Phil Brooks? No, thank
Yeah.
you. No, thank you. Ugh. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, yeah. I just have to shake my head. Somebody had told me when I was there, I was like, goddamn fucking Phil Brooks, I hate him. They're like, why do you hate him? I'm like, I'm not going into this with you. I'm just gonna
Oh.
say, yeah, I
Mm.
told the guy, I said, I'm just gonna say one thing or two things. Hashtag Team Cabana. That's all I have to say. And then you should know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I also discovered that, and I was told that one of my favorite wrestlers, Ocean Spray, is in a little bit of a pickle right now. So apparently he got in trouble for his antics on the Jericho cruise this year.
Really? What was he doing
Oh
there?
yeah. Oh, he was drunk almost every like minute of things, and like he was doing like he had like really weird behavior, like to women, and just made people feel uncomfortable, and and he's supposed to be the face of like fucking AEW, but he's making them look like shit. It was like Party Marty all over again.
Mm.
But the guy, yeah, and it's like you have a kid and a wife and whatnot, and you're gonna do all this bullshit, like, yeah, no. So a lot of it, he got a lot of heat with it, and they were just like, you can't do that. And I mean, he was hosting like the karaoke, fucking so hammered. He even, I think, wrestled kind of hammered too, and that's not safe. Okay, like seriously, like no, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't advise doing it. I don't drink at shows because sometimes I'm like, if I get carried away, oh yeah, had I drunk that time with Ocean Spray and he shoved me, he would have been dead if I had like all this alcohol in me. And I would have killed him. I would have broken his neck. But is what it is. But yeah, no, I think that it's funny that he's getting that heat because a lot of people are like, dude, he's not a likable person. Yep. And he's proving it more and more. And I was like, yeah, you're right. But yeah,
Well,
so yeah, it's not always greener on that other side. So yeah, and apparently, what I've also been told is, no one wants to put up with fucking Ocean Spray over at WWE.
well, they had mentioned Triple H had mentioned that they went to sign him, and ultimately that Will wanted a lighter schedule, and so they're like, all right, good. Then basically at that point, I think Triple H wrote him off, saying, okay, the guy's not looking to work hard, so it's fine. We don't need him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like we're looking for people who are here to be here. Not here to try and figure out how much time they get off. They're not here to count the hours away.
yeah,
They're here to count the time in ring.
yeah,
So yeah, and because that caused a whole fucking thing. Everyone's all like, "Fuck Triple H for saying Will's not a hard worker," and you're like, "Look, he works hard to a point, but like." There is something to be said for that whole fucking like schedule thing, like if your biggest fucking problem is the schedule, then All right. Well, then you have a limit of how hard you're willing to work for this.
Yeah. Well, when you look at like the schedule and you look at like with like AEW, it's like you're still working hard, dude, and you're still being worked a lot. So it's like,
I mean, in
standard.
AEW though, he's working like once a month or twice a month or some shit. He's doing a lot of pre-records and stuff, and he
Yeah.
flies back to fucking. They fly him back to home all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I mean, I get it. It sounds nice, but I do understand why the other company might be like, all right, if that's all you want, then go ahead and get that somewhere because
Yeah.
we're trying to do a lot more than just that.
Yeah, and it's like you're not that great to whereas, it would be a big like loss.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah. We don't need you, so
we
we're
don't need
fine.
you. Yeah,
And yeah, if you're not
exactly.
looking to come here and put in the work, then there's plenty of
Mhm.
people looking to come in here to do the work. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly, exactly. So it is what it is. So,
Was there
but
anything else you wanted to squeeze out before we do last call?
it was a great weekend. Shout out to Joey Janela Spring Break, another really great show. I think that he takes a lot of pride and care in these. So I cannot wait for Spring Break 10 next year. That one's going to be just out of the I don't even want to know what's going to happen with that one. I want to thank I definitely want to thank Brett Lauderdale because Brett Lauderdale, he was the man. Okay. He had so many things going on, right? And everything seemed to go very smooth. And that says something. So that was great. The Palms, thank you for hosting that. Actually, wrestling at the Palms is kind of nice
Yeah,
because the way their seating is and the way they put the ring in, no seat's a bad seat,
that's cool.
which is pretty cool. Which I was like, yeah, more wrestling events need to happen at the Palms, right? Obviously, yeah, Sam's Town will always have my heart, but I mean, honestly, the Palms was pretty good. The only thing was, because it's a Ticketmaster venue, yeah, the fees are going to be high, but is what it is. I was very emotional this last weekend. Friday, I was a mess. Saturday morning, I was a mess. I did not go to For the Culture, and I'm glad I didn't because it didn't start till 1 in the morning, and it went all the way to like 4:45, and I had
That's
to be up.
insane.
Yeah, and I had to be up like to go to stand and deliver, and try to do that. So it's just those little things and stuff. Would I do it again? Absolutely, absolutely. There are things I could, that I could, if I could change, I would, and that's just what it is. I had a great time. Um, I was trying to film stuff, but it was just so emotional. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that because anyone who knows me knows, like, as far as Ricky goes, I cry at a fucking drop of a dime. Like, yeah, it's very special. I mean, I did that fucking at NWA, and when he won the fucking title at Hard Times, was made fun of. But I'm like, you know what? That's someone that means a lot to me. I've seen him, I've seen the struggle, I've seen it all, and to have those kind of moments for someone, that's really fucking cool, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. But I encourage you guys, New Orleans is next year. That is the home of Ricky Saints. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be on that fucking card one of the nights.
You don't know that though. I mean, he might be in NXT, but like Karrion Kross was not on the card for his hometown WrestleMania Vegas. LA Knight was not on the card for the LA Vegas. Or not LA Vegas, the LA Mania. Like, they're not always just letting them have it, you know?
Yeah, that's true. And oh yeah, by the way, fuck you guys for giving Phil Brooks what he wanted.
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
That was awful. Fuck Phil Brooks. Anyways, I forgot to say that.
Yeah, it was shitty because even in kayfabe,
Mhm.
Phil is everything that he rallied against, right? So in
Yeah.
kayfabe, he's literally a dude that pulled a favor with the top brass to get in the
Mhm.
main event of WrestleMania, even though he never earned his way into WrestleMania. That's literally what he complained about with The Rock and Cena when
Mhm.
they main evented and he was the champion or whatever. Like his whole thing was that the fucking spots were going to part-time old timers and not the guys who were there grinding it out every day. And what did you
Mhm.
do? You in story and maybe out of story pulled a favor with the old guard with the top brass to take Jey Uso out of the main event and put you in it. You know what I mean? Like in kayfabe, you're a fucking asshole and a hypocrite. You know, so for me, I was like, I can't see a way in this entire story that it makes sense where it's not just catering to Phil
Yeah.
to fucking for his own ego. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
there.
Because when I saw the Jey Uso match, I thought to myself immediately, and especially when he came out, I was like, this right here is a fucking an opportunity that you just basically now squashed for Jey Uso. You totally did. You killed it. And and I think that yeah, it's shitty. It all of that shitty. And he got what he wanted. He's basically what he was always against. That's what
Yep.
he is now. And I'm like, you're fake. I always knew you were fake anyway. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. It's shitty. I mean, his
Yeah.
entire story was about how he kept losing and failing.
Mm-hmm.
And then how he
Yep.
was just given this as a favor. Literally as a favor. And so it's kind of
Yeah.
like, fuck off, dude. Like to me, this was setting up for him to spend the next year earning it.
Yeah.
But then he got this, and it goes, well, I don't give a fuck if you're ever in WrestleMania at this point. Like, I was sort
Yeah.
of into the idea of him being screwed out of the WrestleMania main event this year because, Cena and Seth were cheating and all that shit. I was kind of into it going like, you know what? If he gets cheated out of it and then spends the next year, like, making his way to it, whether he's cheating or not, I could be into that. But then for it to be all like, is it in the contract? It's in there. I made sure it's in there. You get the main event. Why? Because he's my best friend, my best friend, my best friend. Why the fuck was his entire year about friendships and friendship bracelets? Fuck yourself. You
Yeah.
want to say that you worked with children, but everything you've brought to the table is a child storyline. This is all about how my best friends do me favors and about how my friendship bracelet means more to me than anything. Fuck out of here. His
Yeah.
entire Drew McIntyre storyline based off a fucking friendship bracelet was so fucking dumb.
It
And
was
then the
dumb.
fucking finish of it to be on the fucking little beads. Fuck off.
Yeah, like, come on. I think personally, I loved Drew. Well, I always loved Drew the Troll. He has my heart. But
Yeah.
but honestly, like that was a real stupid way to kind of end that. And it's like you made someone who you could have really gotten beyond over with star power. You made him look like an idiot
Yeah.
with the whole bracelet thing, and I'm like, that is so stupid. Like,
It was awful.
whatever, dude. You and your ugly little dog. Okay,
And
just go
also,
away.
my
Yeah.
other problem with that being the main event of night one is
Mhm.
the moment of the night was Jey Uso culminating his entire fucking 12-year long career to get to
Mhm.
this spot, to prove he's main
Yeah.
event Jey Uso, to prove he's not just a tag team guy, to prove he's
Yeah.
more than the bloodline. This was the culmination of a guy's entire career. And
Yeah.
CM Punk's whole fucking match, the whole story was about Paul Heyman, the manager.
Yeah.
The whole finish was the manager.
Yeah.
And the whole finish was not the culmination of anything, but the next
Mhm.
step in an otherwise very long story about a manager and who the
Yeah.
manager is aligning with. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. That's not a moment. That's
Mhm.
another chapter in the story, a very important story, a big story, one with a lot of big name players, but it's not a moment. This was Paul Heyman in the main event. This was no
Yeah.
one else's main event. This was all about Heyman. So why
Mhm.
couldn't that be opening the show? Because it would have meant the same to open the show with that story than it would have been to
Yeah.
close it, except for fucking Phil. Where with Jay, if he closed the night, the fans would have fucking lost it
They
because
would have
he
lost it.
finally did it.
The entrance, when he did it at the end, yeah, everyone would have lost it. And I will tell you, I think that would have been a better like a better way to cap off night one. Shit, it's almost like God. Then night two, that main event was, it is what it is. But it's like, oh, so it almost made WrestleMania feel underwhelming.
It did.
The selections of everything. You can have great matches like fucking Rhea and Bianca and fucking Io Sky. Oh, so incredible. You can have stuff like that, or you can have this other, bullshitty type of whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But yeah, no, fuck Phil Brooks. Fuck him always.
Yeah, cheers to fuck that piece of shit.
Yeah.
But also, I'm glad we were able to come through, run through it one more time. I think next week I'm going to come back again. I think we might have a guest. We'll see how it goes.
Ooh.
And then, yeah, I mean, I'm talking thankful shit. I'm thankful for Stephanie Hypes, squaring away that Bailey bottle. Like, that's going to go right next to my John Cena signed bottle of booze. I had saved one of those Wheatley vodka bottles I'd bought from the store in case I ever met Cody. I was like, I'm going to have Cody sign this because he was the first person they used promoting it. And so I was all like, I'll get a Cody signed Wheatley vodka bottle. Now I'm getting Bailey. And it's kind of like win-win.
There you go. There you go. See, it's like you definitely, you never know. And I'm pretty sure that, see, I'm thankful that, you got the old band back together for a night. And I know that some people had asked me like, oh, when's Marsh coming around again? And that part of me was like, oh, so you don't like me as a host? Okay. Whatever. But no. But I mean,
you don't call it down the middle like I do.
Well, you're a ref. You have to.
I'm
just the fucking I don't even know. I'm like that one person on commentary that exactly. That's me on the one person on commentary. Yes. Oh, and by the way, have you noticed how much fucking Corey Graves shuts Booker up?
I haven't. You were telling me about that, so now I'm interested in watching because I definitely have not.
Oh, he interrupts. He's like making sure he doesn't say anything. Yeah. Especially there's certain people like fucking when Ricky's wrestling. Oh, fucking Corey's just like, you are not gonna have a word. Pretty much, it's just him and Vic.
So
I mean, they need to get rid of Booker. But I'm totally thankful that you decided to do another episode 1. It's kind of rad. I am thankful to oh gosh, I'll say like Joey Janela, because if you saw in that picture, I was with the future Joey, the Janela cosplayer. That's my buddy John. Shout out to him. I'm grateful for I'm thankful I got to see Marty. I miss that guy.
Yeah.
He needs a bigger platform. I know he had wrestled with AAA, but it was only on certain types of shows. So I hope that maybe he can finagle himself in there somehow.
He could always go for the North American title.
I would die. I would so die. I would want. Okay. I used to say I wanted Marty and fucking Colt, and then it happened, and I was like, oh, it's kind of underwhelming. But this one is because I think both of them have such great creative minds. Just imagine like the video promos that they could shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's magic right there.
That could be something.
That could be a banger. That could be a banger.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
But I think that we're good for last call if you are.
I am. So.
Tough here. There it goes. So cheers to all the drinking buddies for coming through and having a drink with us. And thanks for everyone who comes through. And I hope everybody else who went out there that weekend had a really good time. It seemed fucking killer, and I was having FOMO real bad, and that's why I was trying to stay off of everything because I was like,
I know. I tried not
but I can't. But
I tried not to text Marsh a lot because,
I'm like, shut up.
Go away.
Leave me alone.
Go away.
You don't understand.
I do understand. And he's like, oh yeah. And he would have
Yep.
been there for my emotional roller coaster. So thank you for that. A lot of people were like, what the fuck? Yeah. Well,
No.
all right,
Anyway,
guys.
it'd have been great. But
Yes.
cheers. Well, that's last call.
Producer Lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support and buy us a drink by putting the I in subscribe and reviewing our podcast. And cheers.